So, I already ranked every Cuphead boss by difficulty, so now I am just going to have to do it by enjoyment. And I will say, preface, no matter what negative things I say about every boss in the game, except for one, I don't think Cuphead has a truly terrible boss. Like a boss that says, "Oh my god, that's so awful." I will exaggerate some of the bad qualities for the video, but I genuinely think that other than, like I said, one boss, I think there may be an argument that there are a few mid bosses in the game, but I think there's only one bad boss, and there are just many amazing bosses in this game. I love it, and I just want to preface that if I say something really overly negative, that sounds like I'm saying the boss is really bad. That's not the case, except for Calamaria. Yeah, I'm just getting into it. 27 is Calamaria, which also you may be noticing this is two more than my um, difficulty video. That's because I added on the Angel and Devil and the King's Gauntlet or Leap or whatever. Anyways, why do I hate Calamaria? You may be asking. Because everyone seems to love Calamaria, and we all know why, you weirdo. Um, but I don't really care. The animation is nothing superb. I'll just get into some technical aspects. Like I said, there's no amazing animation. I can't really remember the music being all that special. I mean, it's good. It's really good normally, but for Cuphead standards, it's pretty mid. My biggest problem is that it has its second and third phase are my two least favorite phases in the game. They're both in my bottom three worst phases in the game. I think phase three is the worst phase in the entire game. The idea that you can just get petrified and there's no way of getting around it. You are stuck there for a second or two and you can't move, but the screen's still moving, things are still moving, and you're going to get hit and lose a life. I'll say this is the most unfair. Actually, not the most. This is the only boss in Cuphead that I would say is just unfair. It's not fair that I can be frozen in the middle of a boss just just because. It's and there's no way to avoid it. And you may say, well, on the second phase you can avoid it. Yes, but then you're not dealing any damage to the boss. The third phase, you can only avoid it by doing a smoke dash, which I believe it has to be timed within a thousandth of a second. No one or very little people can do that. So no, it is not something that's avoidable. It wasn't designed for the game. It just is a very, very lucky glitch. So basically, you get stunned and you can't do anything. And it's just so terrible. Especially on the second phase, it is a bullet hell. In the third phase, half of your screen is blocked off and she shoots bubbles at you while you're petrified. And the thing is, you get petrified, and then basically you're out for 2 or 3 seconds. You're petrified again because it's only in regular. It's every 6 seconds. I'm pretty sure an expert it's even faster, and it takes you a second or two to break out. So really, you're just stuck being petrified for half the fight, and it sucks. It is terrible. I don't want to talk about Cal Maria more because I genuinely this is the only boss I will just say is really bad. The only thing that stopped me from saying it's terrible is that I do kinda. I think the first phase is solid. It's too random, and some of the combinations don't work that well together. But other than that, it's a pretty good fight. For phase one, those other two phases are god awful. Here's number 26 is Wally Warbles. If you can't tell, I don't like flying levels. Plane levels are the worst levels in the game, and some of the worst parts of the game right there with running guns. Not because I dislike them, it's just because they're so much worse than the normal levels. But his expert is generally why he's down here. I would have placed another level below him, but the problem is his expert is just really really bad. It's so hard, but it's not like a Chef Salt Baker hard. Chef Salt Baker, I think, is actually even on expert is harder than Wally Warbles, but he's much more rewarding and fun to play than Wally Warbles, in my opinion. Also, when it's not his expert, he's kind of forgettable. Um, I mean, like, he just doesn't really have much to him other than the fact that his expert is insanely hard. Like, he has no standout amazing phase. Like, the first phase is fine. This fourth and second phase, I say, are okay. And then the third phase is really, really annoying. But there's nothing really to them. And also, here's just my critique for all flying levels: they lack in variety. You can sure use any charm, but you only have two weapons, which is really, really disappointing. In my opinion, it would have been a lot cooler if they were able to turn the weapons in game into a shot. Like, you know how lobber bombs are lobbers, and how Chalice's try shot is like a converge. Try and do that with like maybe a spread shot with Cuphead where it just spreads out a bunch of shots. Like, try and do that. That's my suggestion for plane levels, because otherwise they're really, I would never like replay a plane level due to their lack of variety. You can play Cuphead normal levels in so many ways, but a plane level you really can't. There's only like four paths. There's only like a few paths that you can take. Anyways, number 25 is Baroness von Bonbon. Um, this may be the worst fight on how random it is, because literally you're just fighting five mini bosses, and unlike King Dice's where you get to pick the mini bosses based off your skill with the die, it is really just you're kind of stuck with it. Like, you're like, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Like, this Cuphead is by far the worst, and I hate him. He sucks. This is the worst thing in the entire game. I hate this Cuphead. A cupcake. My bad. I was saying Cuphead. Cupcake. I hate this guy. But like the gumball, the candy corn, and the waffle aren't that bad. This guy's okay. Um, you know. So, but if you depending on the order and what you get, it's a lot more annoying. Um, yeah, it has great. Oh my god, the background for this fight is amazing, and the animation, just as always, is amazing. But honestly, I just always had the wrong vibe with this boss. I was always just like, I don't like this. I don't like playing her. It annoys me. She annoys me. I just always had that feeling when playing this boss. So that's partly why I feel this way, you know? Anyways, next up is Dr. Cal's robot. Um, this boss sucks. Mainly for one reason: this third phase. But I'll get to it. The reason why it's not lower down is that the first phase is pretty darn good. It's hard. It is actually a really hard phase, and it's long, and it has many components. It's long enough to be its own whole fight. Honestly, if this first phase was just the whole fight, it would be at least half a dozen spots higher. Like, that first phase was really good. Then this second phase was literally the most nothing burger of a phase I've ever seen in the game. You can just remove it with one nuke. It's not good at all. And then this is absolute hell. It's my second least favorite phase in the entire game, because it's not unfair, but it's really, really annoying. It lasts half the fight, and it's one of the hardest phases in the game, but not like difficult. Like, not like Chef Salt. I'm bringing up Chef Salt Baker again. Not like Chef Salt Baker's first phase, where it's uber hard. Honestly, maybe the hardest phase in the entire game, but it's understandably hard. Where you're like, well, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. This, it has a pattern, sure, but everything going on, that pattern's broken. I just do not like Dr. Cal's robot. Okay, number 23 is Angel and Devil. Actually, quite interesting boss, and I really like the ominous, like the feeling. This is one of the coolest feelings, because it feels like, example, you know how it feels like when you played the Hello Guest prototype, and how you had to go through all these steps, and it was so mysterious. Like, oh, it feels like you're playing something that you shouldn't be. That's how the Angel and Devil feels. And I remember people saying that it was like, oh, maybe it's gonna be Cuphead 2. It's not gonna be Cuphead 2. Sad state of affairs, but it's not. Overall, I really, really liked the feeling and the vibe to this. Um, Only problem is it's just one really long phase. That's it. It's the same thing over and over and over again, which can get boring. But another problem is that you can only play it once. Unless if you just restart your save. You can't replay it, which just sucks. And you also don't get stats, which is why I couldn't include it on my previous video. Because there's no S ranks, there's no stat, there's nothing. It's just you beat the boss. Boom. And I feel disappointed by that. Anyways, next one's the King's Gauntlet. It's a collection of mini bosses, which is why it's so low. But each mini boss, none of them are really that bad. But only half of them I would say are pretty good mini bosses. The knight is the lowest one on my view. For like the pawns, if I were to rank them, it would go pawn from 5 from worst to best. I'd go pawns, bishop, knight, queen, rook. The knight is very annoying to learn, and it just is such a pain in the neck. And the bishop is just annoying. The pawns are way too easy. It feels like it goes away immediately. The queens is quite interesting with some amazing animation and backgrounds. I believe I said that. I did not say it has good animation. It has amazing animation. The entire DLC has amazing animation, but here I feel like it's especially the rook. The rook's feeling and the animation, the light, it's beautiful. But the Rook is definitely my favorite. I actually really, really like the Rook. It's definitely the most fun and unique one out of the batch. Uh, and yeah, I agree that if the DLC just did 2 more running guns, I would like it less. This is a nice addition to add, It's nice and fun. Anyways, number 21 is Goopy Legrand. Honestly, I have nothing bad with this boss fight. It's pretty solid. But there's nothing great with it. I mean, each phase is just it's okay. There's nothing too special about it. I mean, I said it's pretty basic, and the phases do line up each other and make sense, but hey, it doesn't really do anything. Wait, ah, sorry. Okay, I had a little malfunction on my phone. Anyways, there's just nothing really too good about this boss, but there's nothing bad about it, so it's pretty solid. Anyways, number 20 is Rumor Honey Bombs. Way overhated. It's just a solid boss fight all around. The first phase is okay. The second phase can be fun with the ones where she's on side, but when she's doing the missiles down the middle, it can be quite annoying. Platforming as boss, I will admit, kind of sucks. And it has some good technical features like animation in the song. This playing phase is quick. It's really quick if you know how to do it correctly. Just use spread when she's like this, and basically your entire thing's done in like 5 seconds. But it's honestly not that bad. It's way overhated. Like, it's not the worst boss in game. But to be fair, I also think it's way easier than people say. People who are like, it's the hardest boss in the entire game. I hate it. I don't get you. I'm sorry. It's not that hard. Anyways, next is the root pack. It's probably as easy as Goopy, and the onion I'd actually say is worse than anything in Goopy. Um, but what gets me is that it has so much more variety and so much more interest. It's not just the same thing of jump, fist, or jump, my head goes out like that, or fall down. Like, it's way more interesting with each phase. The carrot is probably my favorite, but honestly, one thing I just really like is speed running it, because like you just rub this guy whetstone with the spread, lobber and lobber ex's the lobber ex collection, and just kill that guy. It's so fun to speed run. Honestly, it's amazing speed run. It's one of my favorite ones to speed run. And the secret phase is fun. It's the radish is cool. Anyways, next is Sally Stakes Play. Also, kind of overhated in my opinion. She's a good boss. I actually really like this third phase. I think it's so cool, just really fun. The first phase is okay. The second phase is also pretty good, and the final phase is But I will say I love the background and the animations and the play setting and the feel you get. It's just really good. and really well designed. Like, look at that and tell me it's not beautiful. I love it so much. Anyways, the secret phases are great. They're probably the best secret phase in the entire game because it actually affects the entire boss and the story and the animations. It looks amazing. It's a great secret phase, honestly. It really buffs up the fight for me. Because number 17 is Hildeberg. Again, one of the better playing bosses, actually. I would say it's pretty good. Like, from about here is when I say the bosses are definitively good. Definitively good. Anyways, Hildeberg, very good boss. Um, the final phase is really cool, and the animation's all great with the backgrounds. As a good song from my memory, and I really like the concept of it, of this blimp boss and Hindenburg. I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to be referencing, and also the star signs are pretty cool. This is my favorite one of them. Honestly, there's nothing too great about this boss, but I think it has some fun aspects. So number 16 is Cagney Carnation. I know, really, really overrated boss in my opinion. Like, people are like, "Oh, it's the best boss in the game. It's amazing." Some people do that. I'm like, it's good. It's very easy, but very enjoyable. This phase is nice. The first phase can sometimes feel a bit spammy, and but I do like it. I think it's good first phase. But I will say what boosts up this song is um sorry phase is that Floral Fury, which hopefully I add the music into the background. That's what I'm hoping to do, but if I don't do it, my bad. Floral Fury is arguably the best song in the game. Like, it's up there. It's up there, and I'll talk about the ones where it is matched. But man, it is one of the best soundtracks in the entire game, and that's saying a lot for Cuphead because it's known to have one of the best OSTs ever. Like, it's amazing, that song. It was next to Grim Matchstick. Um, yes, this is my biggest problem with it. The quality is very dependent on the weapon. Because, let's just say, if you go into this fight with Spread and Roundabout, something that's arguably the best weapon combo in the entire game, you're cooked. You're done for. There's no recovering. Spread and Roundabout are terrible. Spread, because do I need to explain why Spread is terrible? Having to go up in front of this and this, it's horrible. And Roundabout is only really that good for the first two phases. Like, it's good for this phase, it's okay for a second phase, and then it's god awful for this one. But if you go in with Lobber and Charge, you're gonna have a much better experience, and it's gonna be quite fun, actually. So it really is just very dependent on your situation and what you're doing. The platforming is definitely not as bad as Rumor Honey Bottoms, I will say. And it has a good first phase, and the second phase is not that bad. But the last phase is very hard, depending on your weapon, and quite tricky because it subverts the main thing that you do in this game. Like, the number one thing that in this game you should do for 90% bosses is, no matter what, don't stop shooting. There are very few instances where you want to not shoot. This is one of them where you don't want to shoot because the fireballs will explode and hurt you and kill you, and it sucks. Okay, it's really annoying, which is why you always use something like Charge, where you can control your shots and hit the boss, or Lobber, where it just goes, where if you're at the top, it just goes over all the fireballs and they'll never split. But overall, I think it's a good boss fight, depending on what you do. It could be great, but eh. It was next to Jimmy the Great. I like Jimmy. He has a really good theme. I love the theme of of him being a genie and the desert vibe and stuff like that. It's amazing. I love it. I would say the third and fourth phases, which are the cart. Dang it! I forgot the word. When he becomes that like thing out of the, the Cartoffin? I forgot the word. And the puppet phase. This is probably my favorite phase of the fight, with the turban and the puppet and all that. It's really cool. It's very good. The first phase is not that bad. The second phase can be a bit annoying, but can be a bit, or not annoying, but a bit tedious. Um, the secret phase, I will say, is kind of useless. You're never gonna want to enact it because it makes the final phase a lot harder. But actually, it doesn't really do much even then. So yeah. But I really love the theme. I really like the third and fourth phases. The phase one, I will say, is too random for me. I don't like the randomicity, especially since, in my opinion, the cats are the only good one. But yeah. Anyways, next up is Esther Winchester. Woo! Yeah, okay. Esther, man, I love Esther. It's so cool. Like I said, it's so chaotic. Oh, so this is the best playing level in the game, in my opinion. It's so chaotic, but that also brings so much fun at the exact same time, and I love that for it. Each phase is really great. Like, I don't think there's any phase in this phase where I'm like, ugh, do I have to do it? I'd rather do this phase. I love the chaos of this phase and how just everything is going nuts and it's awesome. This phase is really cool with them taking the money and then the plane touchdown. The sausage phase is also really fun. This one where you have to go in between has a nice skill check and the things going through. It's really awesome. I love this. Every phase in this fight is great. And the music, I remember being absolutely amazing. I remember having really, really good music. And also, the animations, sublime. Of course, it's the DLC level. But one thing I do have a problem with is how you need to relearn it every time you play. We may think, well, that creates repetition in how many times you get to play it. You know, you can keep on replaying and re- replay value, I guess, of how you get to keep on going. But I more see it as a problem, as I just feel like I just forget everything that happens. It's like I know how to do it, and it's easy when I figure out, like, oh, I forgot about that. That's happening. It's easy when you figure out that, so it doesn't really help replay value because it's not like you're having to learn the fight again. You know the fight. It's just you're not predicting it. So it's really easy until you find something that you forgot, so it's really hard. Again, I don't think it really increases the replay value. But overall, I really, really like this battle. And number 12 is Ruby and Croaks. This is so blank. Wow. Anyways, the first phase is great, mainly because I really like speedrun it. This is my favorite one to speedrun. Um, and to try and speedrun. That's correct. Okay. Because, quick tip, if you go under the foot, oh, it's cropped out. If you go under the foot right here, it does double damage, and it's really fun to just beat this in the second phase in like 20 seconds or 30 seconds. It's so fun. Just go spread and under there, and then you have lava as your second. And then you just do all your EXs there, which does like 200 damage because lava doubles when it hits the ground. And since you're hitting it, it's actually 4x. So it's like each lava doing like 90 damage, and it's so good. I love that first phase to speedrun it. The slot phase, I do like it, but it has too much RNG. Especially when I keep on getting the freaking tigers. I hate those tigers. They're so annoying. But one thing I really remember is how it has such great animation. And specifically the backgrounds. It had such amazing backgrounds, and the music's one of the best in the game, in my opinion. I really love the music. It was number 11 is Phantom Express. I honestly have no clue why I like it so much. It's another like Esther Winchester where it's just very consistent. This phase is a good phase. This is a good phase. This is a good phase. This is a good phase. Except this one can be annoying sometimes. But honestly, it's really just wait. Oh, I said non. That should have been none. Anyways, it's like no phase is bad, but none are like superb. You know, they're all just good phases. But what puts it above Extra Majestic is I love the vibe of this fight. Just this fight may have the best vibe in game, where the feeling of playing is just much better than the actual objective quality of playing the boss. So, yeah. Boop. Captain Briny Beard. He is an amazing first phase, which is 80% of the fight, which is good. That's a good thing, kinda, because it always just feels like you're going through next and next thing. Like you start off with the barrel and him shooting the inks, then that comes, then he sends out like either the shark, the octopus, or the sea thingies, sea dogs, and then you have the cannon shooting, and then and then sometimes I believe you can have two at once, and it's just, whew, it's so good. I love that first phase, but the second phase is, it's just okay. Just having a bunch of fireballs come out, which are you can just duck and be done with them, and then have a giant laser is cool and all, but like nothing too special, and it's very disappointing compared to the amazing first phase. So overall, Captain Briny Bird I really like. It's just the second phase does drag it down a bit. Anyways, Halloween Aces, I really like that first. This is such an amazing first phase. So good. There's just so much going on, and when it comes down, and when the things come out, and the fire hydrants, it's all amazing. I love it. It feels so jam packed and swift, but also reasonably that like that. It's reasonable for why it's like that, and I love it for it. It's a really good, not really good. My mic, hi, it fell. Anyways, I like the second phase. I think it's a neat second phase, and I also really like the secret phase. I think it works quite well. And here's the thing: the third phase is really great. It's really hard and difficult, and works well, even though it's quite basic, because of its gimmick that the thing flips. You know, um, but the only problem is, once you learn the gimmick, that's it. That's it. Once you learn the gimmick, there's nothing else to the fight, to that third phase. It's just a pretty basic and pretty good third phase, yes, but it's not great. But that amazing first phase does bring it up. It also has such good animation and also good song. But again, that's the entire DLC. So yeah. Number 8 is Mortimer Freeze. I used to sleep on him. He used to be like my 14th or something. Now he's my 8th. The more I play him, the easier, not the easier, but the more fun I have. He's so hard though. I put him like what, my fourth hardest boss in the game. I think he's in the top 7, top 6, definitely. But man, he's awesome, but he's so hard, but he's so enjoyable and fun to play. The first phase is the only one that I'm just like, for. It's fine and all. It's really just the snowman. Like, the cars coming out for the parries can be a little bit annoying. Are fine. The whale just smacking down on you is so absurd, but I'm good with that. It's really just those Icemen that are so unpredictable and will almost always get a hit out of me, and it sucks. But the second phase is so fun. It's one of the most fun and dynamic phases in the entire game because you just have constant action where whether he's doing the spike attack, or he's rolling, or he's doing the ice cubes, or the popsicle sticks are coming down. There's always something to do, and it's so fun and so good to deal with. And the third phase is so hard. It's really, really hard, but a blast once you get used to it with all the things going on and the attacks. It's so good. And also, I know I don't mean to bring this up for every DLC level. This is maybe, oh my god, ow. And this is maybe the second best animated fight in the entire game with animation. It's so gorgeous to look at. Especially the backgrounds. Oh my god, they're so amazing. Really love this boss. Number 7 is King Dice. Honestly, he really shouldn't be this good. Like, he really just shouldn't be this good because he's built on just a bunch of it's solid except for this guy, but really it's just built on mini bosses that are just like, they're okay, but he's such a fun fight. He's definitely the most unique fight in the game. I don't care if it's Halloween Aces because the plane and the flip. No, it's this boss. What boss has given you the choice of what you decide to fight? What boss gives you a die that you roll? What boss makes you restart the entire fight if you land on stuff? It's definitely the most unique boss in the game. It also has really great music, and it maybe is one of the most replayable bosses in the game. I feel like you can always just go back and replay this boss and cycle again. The only problem is that it may be too long, and sometimes it's like you can get like a 4-minute King Dice match, which can suck. But here's the thing. It also the enjoyment, which is why it's not maybe higher. Enjoyment is solely based on the mini bosses. Like if I get Chips Baggin, this guy, and either Rouletta or Mangosteen, and then him, man, this is an awesome fight, and I would love it. But if I get Tipsy Troop, that guy, and Mr. Chimes, I'm like, well, I'm not having a fun time. Honestly, if you get Mr. Chimes, you're not having a good time. But overall, it's a great fight in my opinion. Although objectively, you should probably place it a few lower. Also, the parry check at the end is pretty fun, in my opinion. Anyways, number 6 is Glumstone Giant. I've said first phases are amazing because oftentimes your first phase is your best phase, as it should be. It's what gets you into the fight. But this may be the best first phase any boss has. I mean, I don't know, but it's up there. It's so spectacular. It's an amazing first phase with the gnomes at the bottom, the falling platforms, everything that's going on. It, I love. Like if you can't tell, I really like phases that are really action packed, but so fun at the same time. Where it's not feeling like you're being overwhelmed, but feels like you're just locked in and so skilled. I love this phase so much. It's amazing. And then the second phase is pretty darn good. My biggest problem is how those things would just come. Like you can see, but there's bleachers here that cover this entire side, so you can't see if gnomes are coming out there, and you're standing there. The gnomes and their unexpected places where they just come out and get you is really annoying. Other than that, I think it's a great second phase. And the third phase is awesome, man. It's great. Actually, wait. Is it? Wait, why did I say that? No, it's not. It's a good first. It's a good third phase, but it's nothing spectacular. I do like some of it, but then other parts is just bland. It goes over quickly, so it's a nice ending phase. But man, this boss is solely risen up by how utterly spectacular this first phase is. Honestly, this was my first DLC boss, and I'm like, okay, we're getting into something good. Anyways, oh yeah, here's a great song too. Number 5 is Beppy the Clown. Again, this is not right where it just feels like it should not be as good as it is. It's so chaotic. Like I've said some other ones are chaotic, but this is the absolute definition of chaotic. Also, look at how beautiful this background and animation is. It's so gorgeous. Oh my god. But anyways, definitely the weirdest. This may be one of the weirdest fights in the game. It's just so utterly insane, but it gets you. And every phase is absolutely perfectly. It perfectly goes together. Goes together. He is the dude riding the little go kart, and then you fall off, and then he becomes this, and the train goes by, and then oh, he's riding a horse. It feels just so perfectly insane for this crazy godlike clown, and it works so well. This final phase is pretty good. It also just has such good vibes and a banger of a theme. As I said, it's an amazing song. Overall, this is one of my favorite fights in the game. I don't know why. There are fights that are probably objectively better. Just like I think it's my next one. Werner Vermin. Werner Vermin is one of my favorite fights in the game. And honestly, just fun wise, he may have he may get into the top 3 if it were based on like pure fun and enjoyment. Okay, I'll say it. This is the most replayable boss in the entire game. Um, I say the devil would be, but the only problem is then you have to deal with the exit screen and logging out of the game, which is annoying. But Werner Vermin is just so amazing to replay. That first phase is just great, and I love that first phase. It's just so awesome with all the trash and the bombs. It's so enjoyable and so fun. The second phase is one of the most balanced phases in the entire game. It just feels so swift and smooth, and like everything is calculated. There's nothing that's gonna surprise you. It's all amazing, and it's one of my favorite phases in the entire game. It's so spectacular. It's one of the perfect phases in the entire game. And the third phase is just nice and fun, where it's like the cat eats him, and you have to deal with the cat real quickly as he goes through the set of attacks. It's pretty good. And this one is, when I truly mean it, this is arguably the best song in the game. Right there with Floral Fury, and another song that I'm about to go through, but oh my god, is this song heavenly. It's so good. Anyways, next up is Chef Saltbaker, which I believe I forgot to do. Oh, and never mind. This is the best animation the game has to offer. It is utterly stellar. It is mind-blowingly good, this animation. It is so immaculate, especially with the animation, like for the pre-fight animation where he's talking about baking the Wonder's heart. It's so amazing. All the fights and everything is so predictable with how it goes, but good predictable. It's so amazing. I love everything with the animation technical features. And the music is so good. Baking the Wonder Hearts are one of the coolest and most epic soundtracks in the entire game. It's so awesome to listen to. And, okay, the devil is not the best final boss, I will say. He's just an amazing boss. This is the perfect final boss. Like, I could not imagine a better final boss for Cuphead. He is the hardest boss in the game, but he's also not so insanely hard. Now, he's not a Dr. Cal Phase 3 hard, or Cal Maria hard, where it's so hard, but not because of a good reason. This is a reasonably hard fight, where you feel like, oh my god, this is so difficult, like, harder than those two fights. Yes, but it makes sense. It's hard, but you get it. Like, you get it, Not that, oh, there was some BS thing that got me eliminated and got me out. No, it's that this is pure skill. It is based off your pure skill, not the fact that you can just get frozen every 5 seconds. No, this is based off how good you are at the game and how many things you can handle, and so perfect at that. I absolutely love the Salt Baker. Okay, sorry. Also, this first phase is one of the best phases in the game and one of the hardest, if not the hardest. This second phase is also amazing too. Anyways, also the heart is a pretty fun and enjoyable final phase. And Cuphead developers, I see you and how annoying you are of me thinking that you had to parry the heart in order to deal damage to it. Quick hint, you don't, and it's annoying. Anyways, number 2 is the devil. While I do think Chef Saul Baker is objectively a better final boss, I think the devil is a better boss. Because, yeah, sure, he's not even the hardest in the original game. Cal Maria and Dr. Cal got that on him, and Wally Warble's an expert. But, honestly, he's amazing. Like, he would be the most replayable boss in the entire game, but the only problem is, every time you beat him, you have to go through the cutscenes and log out, and then you have to get back in and go in and play. It's annoying, which is why he's not my most replayed. But honestly, he's so fantastic. This first phase, honestly, him and Glumstone are going at it for what is the best first phase in the game, because that first phase is immaculate. It is perfect. I have no problem. It is amazing. It's stuffed to the screen. It feels every attack so spectacular. I also really like the third phase. The third phase is my second favorite. It's such a good phase. And while the second phase is, and second and third phases are severely hurt by the fact that Converge sorry, that Converge just completely solos it because of how much damage it's dealing, they're still really amazing phases. And the fourth phase is how you do a desperate, really hard attack. Not Dr. Cal's half the fight is a bullet hell, but it's the last tenth of the fight is this really hard Neo parry thing, And overall, man. Well, also, he's the only boss to have two separate themes, and I think that's really cool, and both of them are utterly amazing. Anyways, but what is my number one boss in the game, if you've taken it out? I know this. Okay, so quick thing, my mic died out, and I'm just going to do the voiceover here. The best boss in the entire game is the Moonshine Mob, and I don't care anyone else's opinion on this. This is a perfect boss. I absolutely love it. And one thing I'll just start off with is this is by far, in my opinion, the most fun and entertaining boss. I love it to pieces in that factor. It's just so much fun to play, and it's also so replayable. Honestly, I should have said originally that this is one of the most replayable bosses as well. It's so good and so fun to just keep on playing and playing over again. And I did say that was between Devil and Glumstone, but honestly, Moonshine Mob is also up there for having a absolutely pitch perfect first phase. It is utterly amazing. I love everything about it. How you actually need to focus on the fight and not just the boss. And it's oh my god, so good. I love it. The second phase would be really good if it weren't for the fact that you can just glitch it with Chalice or Smoke Bomb and be done with it in like 10 seconds. And the third phase is really fun if you have the right shots. The balls can be a little bit annoying, but the Anteater is very fun to deal with. And the surprise at the end was also really great. And I found it very, very enjoyable, you know. And also, yes, the final reveal. This is, by a good amount, my favorite theme in the game. It is musical perfection, and I love it. And I guess the video is being over in a few seconds, but overall, honestly, this boss is immaculate, and Cuphead is an amazing game. And that's all I have to say. Bye!